Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Tickle here. So today, as you can see, I just need a little Jimin in my life right now. So to that end, I had already started reacting to Park Jimin Introduction Guide 2024. I forgot what channel it is. I think Jimin Videos or something like that. The link will be in the description. But I already reacted to part one, Park Jimin, the main dancer. You can check that out up here. But so now we moving on. This is part two of four, and this is Park Jimin, the lead vocalist of BTS. And this is 53 minutes long. Good lord, but oh well, we gonna be here for it, right? So let's get it, let go. Look at him. This already is just like so let's go. I love his vocals, y'all. Love his vocals. I'm telling you, Jimin in that blue is just lead vocalist.
Jimin is known for his unique, effortless, crystal clear high vocal tone that cuts through like a beam of bright light and makes you feel every emotion and feeling that he is trying to convey.
Prince came, like, damn. That's all you can say. Tay Tay. Come on. That's one of my favorite songs. This is on my playlist. This video is on my playlist. Army tail on your deck. Put your hands in the air. Don't leave me here, JK. That hair. Yo, when I first reacted to that, because that was like one of my beginning reactions. Y'all check out the playlist because it's in order. That was one of my beginning reactions, and that, I would say, solidified, that cover solidified BTS for me. Okay, because they pulled that off. And that high note, let's go back to it. Let's just go on back to it. That high note of Jimin, he got that part. Like I was vibing, with the everybody doing the song, but I was waiting on that part because if they would not have nailed that part, I don't know. I probably would have been like, oh no, because you can't cover a big song and not do the big parts. You know what I'm saying? Like some people do. But when Jimin did that, I said, you could go look at the reaction. But I just
Since Jimin joined the group last and had one of the shortest trainee periods ever, the debut days were tough.
연습하는 연습생들이 굉장히 많은데 저는 그 방탄의 지민 씨가 단연 으뜸이라고 생각합니다. 근데 지민 씨는 좀 혹독하다 싶을 정도로 스스로를 이렇게 채찍질하는 스타일이었기 때문에 T&D님들 그때는 신인개발팀이라고 불렀었는데 굉장히 신경을 많이 써주셨고
지민이 같은 경우가 가장 늦게 들어왔어요. 정말 마지막에 들어와서 저랑 아마 한 3개월인가 4개월 정도밖에 오래 있지는 않았었는데 그 친구가 제가 봤을 때는 가장 열정적으로 이제 연습을 했던 동생으로 생각을 해요. 왜 그랬냐면 좀 늦게 들어온 것도 있었고 그 당시에 회사가 좀 분위기가 안 좋았어서 좀 그런 부담감이 있었나 봐요. 부담감이 있었을 거고 그래서 더 열심히 하고 사실 제가 노래를 정말 잘하지 않는 편인데도 저한테 와가지고 노래를 엄청 많이 물어보더라고요. 그럴 정도로 되게 정말 열심히 한 동생이었었어요.
태영이나 정국이가 보컬 레슨을 받을 때 저 들어가서 구경해도 돼요 하면서 들어가서 참관을 하거나 그때 들었던 거를 혼자 새벽에 나와서 연습하고 있었던 거예요.
Because Jimin didn't get any vocal lessons while he was a trainee and practiced on his own. His first real voice practice was for B-side track in their debut album. Even in the very beginning, when he had little to none vocal training, he was assigned to sing most of the high notes and he did it flawlessly.
That's very impressive. Also, very messed up. Like, yeah, can y'all imagine if they would have gave him vocal training in the beginning? Because all those high notes and stuff that he did fabulously, like he stepped up to the plate with it. I'm sure, as someone who sings and has sung a cappella my entire life, okay, some of those high notes he hit, best believe he had a sore throat after. And luckily, I hope it never happened, but luckily he didn't mess up his vocal cords by doing that without being trained to do it. Even just general, at least here in the States, even just general choir or music class, they taught you how to properly, belt and use your stomach and the difference between your chest and your head and your regular voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then even when they went to American Hustle Life, they didn't send Jimin to go do the vocal, with the older black lady. She'd have got him together. She loved Tay. She loved Tay's voice. But she'd have also got Jimin together because she'd have loved his voice. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a disservice. And I'm so, so glad, even though it took 13 years, but I guess 12 years. I'm so glad he took it upon himself when chapter 2 started to start taking vocal lessons, real vocal lessons. And he found his balance. Cause if you watch the Mini Money music, talk, and I think it was Jimin's talk with RM, not RM's talk with Jimin, but I think it was Jimin's talk where he said, that he don't even know if he could go back and sing the old song. He can, but he don't think he could go back and sing their old songs because now he knows how to use his voice correctly. But we heard the notes he hit and and Rebirth and not. He can do it, but he's gonna have to now do it in the correct way, and he's probably gonna be able to, even once he gets to practicing more, he's gonna be able. We will get louder than bombs, okay? Even better probably, because he'll be able to be stable and go high and low, because I love his lower register too. But anyway, sorry, that was a whole 5-minute tangent. But anyway, sorry. But that's just my thoughts. Just think how much better he would have been by now if he'd have had vocal training back then, just to get him started. I mean, he did his thing now. Don't get it twisted.
When he had little to none vocal training, he was assigned to sing most of the high notes and he did it flawlessly.
I'm sure JK and V and Jen even were telling him and teaching him what they learned, but still one-on-one when you can ask your own questions because, his voice is different, so, but I'm glad, I'm sure he like he was asking people who ain't even sing that much. So he was asking people to help him. So I'm hoping he did that. I'm hoping he even was online looking at the free lessons that Muggs give. There's thousands upon thousands of vocal coaches online, even though I think they both, especially JK, need to check out Stevie Mackey. If you haven't checked him out, look him up on YouTube. He's a black dude, great singer, vocal coach, the stars, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, etc., down to even people on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? He'll do it. He don't check him out. Stevie Mackey, Stevie Stevie Mackey. Just look him up, and you'll see exactly why I think they all should take vocal lessons with him, but particularly VJK and Jimin. But Gen 2, they all just need to take it. You'll see. Look them up. And let me know in the comments if you agree with me or not. I'm just saying. But anywho. Now that right there, that note right there. After doing that in concerts, his throat was probably, he was probably sucking down some tea, some hot tea, some hot water with lemon. He was doing some with honey. He was doing all that. Okay. And just think how you saw how like kind of pinched that was when he was like that. If he'd have had vocal lessons, they'd have showed him how to do that. Even if he wanted it to be that quiet, it would have sounded a little bit stronger. And he wouldn't have had to, like, you could see the strain. You could see it if you're looking at him. Stop looking at the face and look at his neck and stuff. You see it. And that shouldn't be, because he can get that high, you know, that's his part of his range. So he shouldn't have to do that. Like, and he would be taught that if they would have gave him a freaking coach. But anyhow. Look at that. Look at his neck. It did it bend a little bit. Oh, but he did that though. But just think, he's doing that days worth. Come on. And I love how JK's watching it. You can do it.
Not only does he sing high notes effortlessly, he makes fans weak with his lower register and growls.
This performance, I don't know what he was on for this performance. Damn, we only 5 minutes in. Look, sorry, y'all. Well, not sorry, but you know, bear with me. This is a reaction channel, okay? Yo, he was in it on this one. Like, I don't know what, was he mad or something? But he went off. Okay, he brought the bass with it. I'm going, you know I go. This is one of my favorite songs. I love Beautiful Part 2. Come on. I love that. This wasn't my favorite song, but that ending superhero pose that he called me.
What makes Jimin's singing so captivating? Part of the allure of Jimin's voice is in its naturally pure and light quality. But ultimately, it's the way Jimin uses his voice that makes it so special. Jimin has an ability to sing even the high notes with a very distinctive, full and energetic sound. For this, he is often used in ad-libs to bring texture into the mix.
Yeah, I love his ad-libs. Lovely.
Jimin's beautiful background vocals and harmonies tend to make the songs more colorful.
All their background.
If my wings could fly. Then you were my universe and you make my...
Not only is he a lead singer, he's also the main dancer who has to sing with a smooth and stable voice even after a full-on choreo.
And he pulls that off fabulously well.
I'm simple wherever I can. 약긴 멀리 돌아가도 난 이 순간이 행복해.
Yeah, this is cool too. He does all that.
Time is such a night. Touch me, bring the fire, set the night alight. Time is such a night. Touch me, bring the fire, set the night alight.
I can't wait till they back, y'all.
Let me show you, and then we can keep the fire alight. Let me show you.
Did that after running.
And then we can keep the fire alive. Well, let me show ya, and that we can keep the fire alive.
It's really hard. Many of you may not know this, but to sing live quieter and softer like that and breathy when you're breathless after dancing really hard is very difficult. Much harder than it seems. It's harder than actually belting out a high note, because belting out the high note requires a lot of energy. Here you have to actually like tone down your energy, get control of your breathing, and then sing it. It's hard.
That kind of style.
The thing that you have to do if you're trying to have these hard stops, it's not easy to do. First of all, you probably don't make that person the one singing. If you're doing a live performance, you don't make them sing, because the contractions, you have to use your leg, your butt, your back, your chest, and you have to use your breath. So if I were to go, I would physically do that to help stop my air and stop my muscles at that point. Yeah.
생각보다 노래를 많이 부르고 있어서 저는 좀 깜짝 놀랐어요. 사실 춤이 이제 과하게 되면은 백킹 보컬이나 이제 깔리는 목소리에 좀 많이 의존을 하기도 하는데
Not BTS. I mean, they do
생각보다
with
많이
some
부르고
stuff, but not
있어가지고
everything.
더 들어볼게요.
Some people truly underestimate just how unique Jimin's voice is and the fact that he's also a main dancer in the group. That's why every idol is always struggling when covering his parts. There was a big discussion about this on Chinese TikTok.
为什么 cover 套曲朴智明的 part 会成
Look,
为
they
灾
walking
难
away.
现场？
I mean, you do that, man. Nice.
Nice.
I mean, for a cover. Oh, he's breaking down. No, it's painful to watch. Oh, he broke down. His confidence shattered.
And a lot of people agree. Even non-fans and casual listeners have discussed how Jimin's voice is why BTS songs can be
Jimin starts singing, it feels like, hey man, let's get serious. The reason why no one can cover is because first, Jimin has a very unique voice, yes. Secondly, most of his lines are high pitched and he has his own style. Yeah, they're not gonna get that, like, it's not a yodel, but that's like the best description I could give for that unique quality that Jimin has in his voice. But it's not a yodel, but that's what I've been calling. He has his own style. Yeah, they shouldn't try to copy. They just should at least hit the same note and sing it in their voice. But they gotta hit the note. And that guy, oh, if that was a show, oh, that was painful. Like I know when you saw the judges' face, they were like, oh no, yeah, because he imploded. So I can't hear my own. Jimin has to hit the high notes right after finish. Yeah, that's true.
can be easily set apart from other group songs. Jimin's voice acts as a watermark for BTS. The difference between BTS and other K-pop groups is Jimin is a watermark for BTS. The difference between
Jimin is known as the killing part, making the shit. Think about it twice. I don't know how good Jimin is. I mean, he can dance and sing very high notes. Now I finally understood it. For others,
BTS and other K-pop groups is Jimin. Honestly, I have never seen any other group where the main dancer has to sing all the high notes. Jimin is so talented. Kim Youngdi, who is a music critic and a member of Korean Music Awards Committee, has said that when BTS is regarded as a sound, Jimin's voice is one of the most important auditory elements that make up the fingerprint and impression of the sound. The Recording Academy has also touched on this. Jimin always made an impression through his elegant dance moves and distinct falsettos, giving an aesthetic flair to all of BTS's releases.
Yeah, you get clear. Y'all get the quality I'm talking about.
팬분들 너무 좋아하시네요. 팬분들은 상상도 못했을 거예요. 다음 분들은
항상 키의 상승에 가장 결정적인 역할을
저 때문에 멤버들이 되게 힘들었어요.
사실 지민 씨의 그런 음역이 아니면 저희 노래가 살지 않을 거예요.
Even BTS themselves were
The
mortified
leader,
when Jimin had to
boost
sit
your
out from
boys
their
up, boost your
performances when his
boys up.
chronic neck pain was flaring up.
아예 안 움직이죠. 아예 못 움직이는 거구나.
약간 마카오 때랑 좀 비슷한 거 같아요. 근데 여기서 주사를 못 맞아가지고.
아, 진짜.
그때 마셨던 거는 그 쇼에서 진짜 큰일 났었다 진짜 울 뻔했다 진짜 나 너무 그 전날 잠을 너무 못 자가지고 아니 일단 비공상으로 왔었는데 형 노트 쇼는 정말 말도 안 되더라고.
They said it was a complete mess. They weren't a complete mess.
눈을 한다고?
네, 지민 씨는 그리고 팀 내에서 리드 보컬 그리고 메인 댄서를 맡고 있는데요. 굉장히 아름다운 미성과 정확한 고음 처리가 특징이기 때문에 방탄소년단 내에서 굉장히 고음 파트를 또 많이 맡고 있는 멤버입니다. 방탄소년단 히트곡 중에서 피땀 눈물이 있는데 피땀 눈물에서 도입부를 지민 씨가 맡았어요. 그래서 그때부터 도입부 장인이라는 별명이 붙기도 했습니다. 지민 씨는 그 메인이 아니라 리드 보컬인데도 불구하고 굉장히 많은 고음 파트를 본인이 가져가서 그걸 소화를 잘 하는 것 같아요. 그거에 대해서도 다른 멤버들 뭐 리더를 포함해서 굉장히 지민 씨의 어떤 보컬적인 역량을 크게 높이 평가를 하고 또 멤버들이 그걸 알아주기 때문에 그만큼 소화를 또 본인이 맡아서 잘 할 수 있지 않나 싶은데 메인 보컬만큼이나 비중이 높다는 게 특징이지 않나 싶은 것 같아요.
As of now, Jimin has 17 official music credits by Korea.
Songwriting credits, composition credits. Disease, get in the soup, yeah. Friends, Boys with Fun, Promise, Lie, Outro, Circle Room, Cypher, Vibe, Face Off, Like Crazy English, Alone, Set Me Free Part 2, and Letter. Anything different over here? Nope.
Korea Music Copyright Association. Outside of this association, BMI has also credited Jimin as a songwriter and a composer of Dream Glow, the song that was actually planned to be a Jimin solo song. But there are also a lot of instances where Jimin isn't officially credited, like for the melody of Blood, Sweat and Tears.
지민이는 목소리가 되게 좋아요. 맞아요. 매력적이죠. 지민이도 멜로디 잘 씁니다. 그러니까 피땀에서 그 멜로디 짠 거. 그렇죠. 좋아요.
Outside of official credits, Jimin's actual first song that he wrote was Christmas Day. The original song is Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Jimin wrote new Korean lyrics and recorded the new Korean version together as a duet with JK.
I love Mistletoe. Look at JK.
He also made the first guide for the August D Jimin live collab version of Tony Montana.
This is my biases right here together. I love it. I love it. I love them together.
There is also a demo tape for Fake Love that Jimin made. He wrote People and wanted it to be a Jimin solo song.
이번 믹스테이프의 그 사람이라는 트랙을 원래는 지민 씨 솔로곡 트랙을 생각을 하고 원래 작업을 했었던 거였는데 회사에서 이제 대차게 이제 반려당했죠. 그래서 이제 제가 쓴 건데 냅뒀다가 쓴 건데
잠시 제가 PD님 좀 뵙고 오면 되는데.
Also, he wrote a song that he wanted to sing together with Jimin, but the idea was rejected by the company.
You know what? I hope V didn't throw it away because he has a habit of writing songs and then a year later, like, I don't like getting thrown away. He said that he's thrown away a lot of songs. Instead of like Yugi ain't throwing away nothing. He just setting it aside. It might come back around later. But V just like, nah, toss. When he liked it before, so I hope he still has this song. And because now, you know, they can do what they want. So I hope he still has that and they do record it and sing it together.
원래는 지민이랑 저랑 부를까 생각했었는데 이제 저희 프로듀서 형이 남자랑
If I sing with a guy.
그냥 가사가 안
The lyrics
맞는다
won't make
생각해서
sense. It won't make sense to you because you don't want it to make sense. It'll make sense
Under
to their
BTS
army.
name, Jimin together with JK also collaborated with singer Love in a song Who. Jimin and JK have also covered Charlie Puth's We Don't Talk Anymore. On the album B, where all of the BTS members were included in the production, Jimin took on the role of music project manager.
이제 제가 지금
I love that.
PM으로서 할 수 있는 일이 멤버들이 어떻게 작업을 하고 싶은지, 어떤 내용으로 하고 싶은지, 몇 곡을 하고 싶은지, 어떤 스타일의 곡을 하고 싶은지, 구성은 어떻게 하고 싶은지, 어떤 멤버가 잘 어울릴 것 같은지, 막 이런 내용들을 정리해서 회사랑 이렇게 커뮤니케이션을 하면 될 것 같아요.
You know what? Before we do that, I love that they let him do that or pushed him to do that because I think Suga said he just told him he was going to do it and that's how it was going to be. But that probably gave him a taste of what he was going to eventually do when he started doing Face and Muse at the beginning of chapter 2. So like he you know, it gave him confidence because he did it successfully. And didn't like most of the songs off the B album chart? Let me know in the comments. But one of my favorite songs, playlist from that is Fly to My Room. I love that song. I love that song, y'all. But yeah, Jimin, and then we see what he produced. But he had the confidence because they let him or made him do this. You know, be the PM for the album. He learned the process. He had to deal with the company, you know, so he got a little taste of what Suga Namjoon be doing. You know what I'm saying? All that. I love it. Just like them having JK or letting JK direct Life Goes On music video because that's where his interests lie. Like I love the inter boosting of each other that they do. Like the Young Line pushed them to listen to music when they were, you know, in training mode and even early debut, probably to this day, honestly. I think they did mention that in RM's Mini Money, but and RM and Jimin's Mini Money, but RM's version of it. And you know, I just love like they boost each other, they taught each other, they encouraged each other, they nurtured everybody's interest and made them interested even if they didn't want to be. Our Young Line was on that stuff, wasn't they? But yeah, I love that. And then you see what we got.
I do also want to talk about Jimin's solo songs under BTS, and the power that Jimin's voice and pen game can do. Keep in mind the
Pen
impact
game,
and achievements
face
I'm
game,
about to mention don't even
dance
scratch the
game,
surface.
all
Under the
game
group's name,
can do.
Jimin's first solo song Lie, in which
love
Jimin
Lie.
was credited as a songwriter and a composer, at the time was the only solo song from Wing's album to rank on an Kigeo chart. It was highest ranking solo song on Melon Music chart. It was also the only solo song and B-side that charted Spotify Global Viral 50. Also, while Blood, Sweat and Tears ranked number 1 on World Digital Song Sales chart, Lie ranked number 3 and became the best-selling solo song in Wing's album.
But what I want to talk about right now is the line "caught in a lie." How we're switching from minor to major. That is amazing because it's saying "caught in a lie." When we hit the word "lie," we are in a different chord quality, which is awesome. It is so genius. I mean, "caught in a lie" and have that lie be that we're switching to major. It's
Yo, he's saying it.
그래서 이 가사를 다 지민이가 썼는데 저는 지민이가 쓴지 몰랐어요. 너무 잘 써서 형이 듣자마자 정말 너무 잘 썼다고, 이 노래와 너무 잘 맞는 가사라고, 대박이었다고 했던 그런 일화가
And it
있습니다.
was.
지금 들어봐도 사실 이 가사가 아니면은 그 노래가 어떻게 될까 상상이 될 정도로 너무 저는 가사를 어렵지도 않고 어려운 말도 없고 되게 완벽하게 썼다고 생각해요. 그래서
Wow, it's
지민이의 어떻게
perfect.
보면 지민이가 작사를 함으로써 본인에 대한 스스로의 또 하나의 증명이 아니었나, 한 스텝 나아간 그런 곡이 아니었나, 네, 그렇게 생각을 해봅니다.
네, 제 이제 뭐 번외로 사연 번외로 얘기하면 이제 제 친구 중에 친구는 아니고 저보다 항상 어린 이제 다른 이제 힙합 그룹에 있는 이제 한 래퍼의 말로는 이야기를 하는 래퍼 지민이 형을 딱 하는 거예요. 저 얘기를. 네. 지민이 너무 잘하는 것 같다.
그렇지, 잘하지.
지민이 잘하니까. 지민이 뭘 안 돼요. 자기 진짜 딱 보이는데 지민이 뭘 안 돼. 지민이 뭘 아는 것 같아.
뭘 많이 알지.
지민이 잘하지. 자기 막 너무 잘한대. 뭘 안돼. 뭘 알고 막 한대. 뭘 하는 거야 지금? 아니 뭐든 뭐 무대를 보면 자기 너무 지민이 너무 멋있대. 근데 내가 볼 때는 지민이 그냥 뿜어서 나오는 것 같아. 하고 지민이 너무 멋있대. 근데 내가 볼 때는 지민이 그냥 뿜어서 나오는 것 같아.
Yes, he does. Atmosphere. That's a great adjective.
그 지민이만의
모찌 섹시.
예. 그 모찌. 무슨 섹시인지도 모르겠지만 모찌 섹시. 그 지민이만의 그 섹시함이 있어요. 모찌 섹시. 그게 약간 나와요.
Jimin's second solo song under BTS was Serendipity, which was released in 2 parts, intro and full. Even if it had the disadvantage of having 2 parts, Serendipity was still the very first BTS solo song to debut on Spotify USA back in 2017.
아시겠지만 이제 가사나 곡 분위기가 굉장히 좀 풋풋하죠. 좀 매력적이고 달달하고 이런 느낌인데
이 노래 안 들려요. 네.
역시 누가 가사를 써서 그런지
진짜 이 노래 안 들리더라고요. 그럼 제 노래 들립니까?
하고 싶거나 제가 생각이 많이 날 때 많이 들어주시면 좋지 않을까라는 생각이 듭니다.
자, 조심!
Our back name is like, you mean my solo song gets old? That's like the youngest, right? That's hilarious.
하고 싶거나 제가 생각이 많이 날 때 많이 들어주시면 좋지 않을까라는 생각이 듭니다.
자, 주시! 가자!
He said when you want to fall in love.
어우! 안 입었었구나.
저요? 저는 벗고도 할 수 있죠.
지민이는 벗기 위해 입잖아.
이 형 이제 일부러 어깨 일부러 그러네. 참 가볍다, 넌 진짜.
그분들한테는 좀 더 그냥 프로페셔널 모습만 보여주고 싶다는 의미였어요.
왜 이렇게 자꾸 소름 돋지? 이거 꺼주시면.
Filter was Jimin's third solo song under BTS name, as stated by RM. Even though there are no credits, Jimin did participate in the song's writing.
노래는 사실 제가 전혀 사실 참여하진 않았고 지민이가 가이드하고 이렇게 막 계속 들으면서 연습하는 것만 좀.
I know this is about Jimin. However, can we just appreciate RM's purple hair? Like the leader, and he is looking lovely right now.
막 그
While praising our
가이드를
Jiminy.
들으면서 되게 자기의 말투대로 자기 쪼대로 막 바꾸고 이런 핸드폰으로 들으면서 그런 모습들을 지켜봤던 기억.
지민님 무대를 통해서 필터가 이제 드디어 비로소 진정한 완성이 된 느낌? 지민님은 되게 미성이시잖아요. 근데 가이드는 조금 성숙한 느낌이었었거든요. 그래서 우리는 이걸 그러면 상큼 섹시로 조금 가보자. 빅히트 엔터테인먼트가 톡톡 튀는 일반적이지 않은 단어들을 활용을 많이 하는 레이블이다 보니까 저희의 평소 톤보다 좀 도발적인 언어를 많이 쓰려고 노력을 했던 것 같아요.
저는 필터라는 곡을 가지고 나오게 됐는데요. 필터라는 게 카메라 어플리케이션이라든지 SNS 필터 외에 이제 사람들이 보는 시선이나 색안경 등의 다양한 의미로 해석을 해서 이 곡에서 제가 다양한 모습으로 사람들에게 보여주고 싶다라는 마음을 표현한 곡이라고 생각하시면 될 것 같고요. 이전에 보여드렸던 세렌디피티라든지 라이와는 굉장히 다른 모습의 저를 보실 수 있지 않을까 싶습니다. 많이 기대해 주시죠. 필터.
Right now, Filter is breaking records as the fastest Korean B-side and Korean solo song to reach certain streaming numbers on Spotify. Filter also was featured in Spotify's Rap Top K-pop Tracks playlist for the third year in a row. Filter is also the first BTS solo song to be nominated for the Song of the Year at the Gaon Music Awards. From the same album as Filter, the song Friends was a unit song Jimin sang with V of BTS. This song was written, composed and produced by Jimin as it was meant to be a solo song first.
태영이랑 같이 부르게 된 곡이에요.
네, 제가 진짜 좋아하죠.
그리고 제가 처음으로 또 작업에 참여를 해서 이게 처음이라서 떨리기도 하고 또 BC가 굉장히 또 잘 불러주고 해서 굉장히 좋은 곡이 나왔으니까요. 기대 많이 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
아니 그래도 우리 지민 씨가 되게 멜로디 라인을 되게 잘 짜서 이제 부를 때도 되게 약간 통쾌한 그런 멜로디인 것 같아요.
맞아요. 뭔가 되게 그 친구와 잘 어울리는 그 친구란 단어와 잘 어울리는 그런 멜로디예요. 맞아요.
이제 사실 제 곡이 앨범에 들어가게 될지도 몰랐고 그렇게 이제 피디님과 상의 끝에 이런 뭔가 되게 귀엽고 이런 노래가 나왔기 때문에 태영 씨와 저와의 이런 뭔가 옛날부터 지금까지 이런 이야기를 담은 노래가 하나도 없었기에 같이 해보는 게 어떤가 이런 얘기가 나오게 돼서 같이 하게 됐는데
This is just too much right here. This is like not fair. I'm sorry, I had to say that. This is not fair. Look at all the cuteness, hotness, loveliness, sexiness in this screen right now. Like, and they in the same group. Look at that. I don't know who thought to put those little diamond studs underneath his eyes, but he's giving straight fairy look. Like he gonna cast a spell on you.
그 이야기 주제가 저는 되게 신박하고 되게 좋았었던 것 같아요.
덕분에 여름과 정결보다 오래 수많은 약속과 추억들보다 오래
이거밖에 모르겠다. With a touch of Jimin's magical hands, this was the only song produced by a BTS member to be nominated for Song of the Year at Gaon Awards. This made Jimin the only BTS member to have 2 songs nominated for this award in 2020. With this song, Jimin was the first individual Korean idol to be credited for a Korean OST in a global Hollywood movie, as the song Friends was chosen as one of the OSTs in the Marvel movie Eternals. This song that he has produced and all of his solo songs under BTS are in the Rolling Stone list of the 100 best BTS
That's
songs.
what I'm talking about, Jiminy.
Promise.
Okay, hold up.
Rolling Stone list of the 100 best BTS songs.
Solo songs outside of BTS.
Promise was the first gift from Jimin to the fans. A surprise drop uploaded on SoundCloud broke the first 24-hour release record with 8.5 million streams, breaking at the time Drake's 24-hour record. As of right now, Promise is in the Guinness World Record book as the most streamed song in SoundCloud history, and in the first 24 hours.
I think it's still
a song
the
that
first
once was meant to be a dark song, similar in vibe with Lie, became a hopeful one, a song that Jimin wrote for himself.
노래를 처음 쓸 때 약속이란 곡을 쓸 때 내가 그랬었지, 난 그랬었던 거야 이렇게 생각을 하면서 이제 쓰기 시작했었는데 형은 이제 3인칭으로 만들자.
그게 전수가 됐어요.
여기 나를 한 명 더 만들고 야 너 지금 내가 나한테 뭐라고 하는 거죠. 야 너 지금 어떻게 해? 지금 웃었으면 좋겠고 지금 너가 느끼는 모든 것들이 다 온전히 너였으면 좋겠고 받아들였으면 좋겠고 이런 얘기들을 하는 게 어때라고 얘기하는 게 되게 큰
그 화자를 이제 청자로 이렇게 만들어가지고
둘 다 난데
그렇게 지민이가 이제 하고 싶은 얘기는 있었는데 이제 정확한 갈피를 못 잡고 있었어요. 근데 그리고 이제
항상 그래요.
네, 그래서 뭔가 시작을 이제 해놨는데 이제 완성을 지어야 되잖아요. 그게 어렵거든요. 시작할 때는 뭔가 영감이 빡 있었어. 와, 나 지금 이게 진짜 써야 돼. 이거 힘들어. 이거 써야 돼. 했다가 이제 시간이 이제 뭔가 적어놨으니까 메모로 남겨놔. 그러면은 이제 몇 달이 지나고 그 감정에서 빠져나오면은 그게 잘 생각이 안 나는 거지. 그 기분이. 그게 잘 생각이 안 나요. 그래서 힘들었거든요. 되게 이 친구가. 약속이라는 걸 처음 시작을 할 때 그때는 이게 되게 막 내 얘기 같고 너무 힘들었는데 지금은 그게 잘 생각이 안 난다라고 네가 나한테 그랬었잖아.
맞아요.
맞지.
왜냐하면
지금은 너무 내 얘기 같지 않다. 그때는 되게 내 얘기 같았었는데.
맞아요.
네가 그랬었잖아.
맞아요.
그래서 이제 그걸 이제 끌어내려고 되게 애썼죠. 사실 되게 좋은 것 같긴 했어요. 왜냐면 이제 더 이상 그렇게 혼자 힘들어하던 지민이를 이제 그거 없다는 거니까 되게 좋은 거였는데 어쨌든 곡은 하나 시작했으니 완성을 해야 된다. 이제 이거였으니까.
이거를 못 끝내면 다음것도 못 할 것 같은 느낌이
맞아.
들었고 그리고 난 팬분들한테 또 고마운 게 사실 이거 팬분들이 그 약속이라는 곡을 써야겠다라는 가장 큰 영감을 주셨었거든요. 제가 아마 얘기를 했었던 것 같은데 한참 이제 좀 방황을 많이 하다가 이제 시티필드에 갔었을 때 무대 딱 들어가기 전이었어요. 저희가 무대 들어가기 전에 이렇게 밖에서 서 있는데 이제 팬분들은 저희가 안 보이지만 저희는 팬분들이 보이는 그 자리가 있어요.
그렇죠, 있죠.
이 뒤로 약간 꺾이는 자리. 네, 거기서 보는데 이제 걸어 들어가면서 딱 갑자기 약속이란 키워드가 갑자기 머리에 탁 꽂혔었어요.
아, 무대 하러 가면서?
네, 걸어가는데
그럼 무대 이제 안 될 텐데 그런 거 생각나.
이제 아니에요. 오히려 그때 그 전까지가 제가 열심히 해야 되는데 비우자 이런 식으로 공연을 했었고 그때 이제 약속이라는 곡을 해야겠다가 아니라 약속해야겠다. 이제 내가 다른 마음 버리고 방황하는 마음 버리고 내가 이 일에 대해 몰두하기로 했으면 약속하자 이런 식으로 하고 들어가고 그날 공연을 되게 열심히 하고 그래서 울컥해서 막 울었었던 것 같아요. 팬들 앞에서 진짜 수많은 사람들이 노래 불러주시고 근데 저는 마음을 딱 잡고 나니까 막 그게 그리고 무대도 엄청 빡세게 하고 나니까 진심이 막
홀가분하고
막 이렇게 눈물이 쏟아지더라고요. 그래서
좋았다.
에피소드가 있어요.
그래서 이제 지금 안 되겠다. 빨리 이거 어떻게 해보자.
그리고 가사 만들고 사비를 다시 만들고
또 만들고 또 고치고 네가
그 과정에 나도 있었는데 내가 볼 때는 이 멜로디가 수십까지 간 거야.
근데 멜로디 결국
60개 나왔을 거예요.
결국 거의 처음으로 돌아왔잖아. 아니야?
거의 대부분이 처음 거죠.
70%가 처음 거잖아.
네, 한 60.
보통 그렇더라.
사비만 이제 제일 마지막에 했던 거고.
이게 5년 만에 5년 반 만에 나오는 거야.
이 지민이 핸드사인.
아니에요. 계속 깔짝해서
이런 거 해야 돼요. 자, 이 대한민국 아니지 세계 음악계는 세 가지의 핸드 사인이 있습니다. 첫 번째 우텐 클랜의 사인, 그리고 JJ 락네이션의 다이아몬드 사인, 그리고 2018년 12월 30일 공개된 박진의 약속 사인. 모두 지민이를
이거 거의 놀리는 거 아니야? 이거
이렇게 해야지. 야 그거 멋있다 야. 약속.
Christmas Love was another gift for the fans released on SoundCloud and YouTube. This song holds the record for the most streamed Korean solo song audio in the first 24 hours since its release on YouTube with 9.6 million streams. The Korean media ate this right up, because right after its release it was already being featured as a background sound in news and a lot of shows. A song with Korean lyrics includes the term
소복이라는 이 소복 소리를 표현한 건데.
a beautiful expression unique to the Korean language, introducing the beauty of Hangul to the world and causing more interest in learning Korean. In 2022, we officially got soloist Jimin with a song under his own name, in collaboration with his best friend Ha Sung-woon. They sang the main OST With You for K-Drama Our Blues. With You broke the record for the fastest song in history to reach #1 in 100 countries on iTunes. Jimin did it in only 4 hours, breaking the previous record held by Dynamite.
Only BTS
With You was
can
also
break
nominated
BTS.
in 3 major Korean award shows in the Best OST category. It was also nominated for Song of the Year at the 2022 Mama Awards. With You is the 10th most streamed K-pop song globally on Spotify, and the second on Spotify South Korea. This made Jimin the 7th most streamed K-pop male solo artist globally.
Though. Look at that list, though. What do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 7 BTS. BTS. Come on now.
With only one song, and
even with this, top K-pop male solo artist globally, and I'm assuming this was With You. When did With You come out? What, 2020? In the 2020s, I think. And people thought that they wouldn't do good as solo artists. They was already doing good. That's just hilarious. Like when you look back at this stuff, like 6 of the 7 are on this list for male solo artists globally. K-pop, but they got to get rid of that. But look at that though. And I love that J-Hope is at #1. I love that. Not just because I don't want anybody else. I don't, I honestly, any of them could be at number one. But J-Hope at that time, especially after y'all know all the trials and tribulations people gave him for his looks and all that. I don't know why, because he be stunting like a bug. But to see him on that at number one, that's, you know what I'm saying? But how would you even think that they wouldn't do good as solo artists when they was already doing good as solo artists? I don't get that. But okay.
And with the shortest streaming period.
감성적이긴 한 것 같아. 제 주변에 다정한 사람이 있어요. 지민이라는 친구가 진짜 다정한데 보면서 좀 배워요. 막 배우게 되더라고요. 뭐 사소한 거.
Little things, man's business.
Right before Jimin's official solo debut in 2023, we got his second collaboration. This time with the K-pop group.
I love vibes on the playlist, but I just love the fact that Jimin, Taeyang was his idol, and then he got to write and perform with his idol, just like J-Hope, J. Cole. Like I'm waiting for the RM Nas. I don't know who Suga would want to. There's a lot of people he want to collab with, but I love this. I loved this.
Big Bang member Taeyong. The song Vibe was highly anticipated. Fans and the general public in Korea were talking about it. So even before it came out, it managed to have the highest debut on the Billboard Hot Trending Songs daily and weekly chart. Jimin also participated in co-composing this song, which gave the song that much more of a good look. Vibe debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 at 76. This was Jimin's and Taeyong's first time debuting on this chart under their own names. This was also Jimin's first time debuting on this chart as a composer. Vibe was also the highest debut on Melon Daily chart by a BTS member since the chart reform. Vibe also received the 10th highest first 24 hours unique listeners on Melon in 2023. This makes the song the only song by a BTS member to enter the top 10 in 2023 overall.
그래서 진짜 바이브라는 그 테마와 너무 잘 맞게 어떻게 보면은 저랑 굉장히 비슷한 생각들을 하고 또 굉장히 비슷한 결이 많다라는 걸 제가 이렇게 느낀 것 같아요. 저보다도 훨씬 더 열정적이고 그리고 그 열정을 보면서 저도 자극을 너무 많이 받았고요. 그래서 이번 작업을 같이 하면서 제가 사실 배운 게 너무 많습니다. 오랜만에 이런 걸 본 것 같아서 너무 좋았던 것 같아요.
네, BTS가 지난 연도 단체 활동 중단을 선언한 이후로 K-팝 시장에 약간 주춤하는 것 같은 그러한 느낌이 들고 있습니다. 이번에 BTS 출신 지민의 솔로 활동으로도 K-팝의 인기 명맥이 유지가 될 것 같습니까?
네. 지난까지 이제 BTS의 활동이 주춤하다. 그리고 또 K-팝은 어떻게 될 것인가. 이런 우려 목소리가 좀 높아지고 있죠.
네.
평생 그 미소년의 그룹으로는 평생 남을 수가 있는 건 아니기 때문에 그렇죠. 만약에 이번 솔로 발표라는 지민이 큰 성공을 거두게 된다면 아마 지민 개인의 영예를 넘어서서 K-팝.
But it's not just Jimin. All of the members' solo work is going to go beyond their personal glory. As we can see, every member's solo work has brought in new fans, new army. Yeah, they got some solos too, obviously, because they went solo. Long as the solos don't disparage any of the other members, the people that their bias loves and wouldn't appreciate y'all putting them down. But all they're doing is just making BTS as a whole bigger, therefore K-pop bigger. Because if you watch YouTube and reactors and all that, as myself, people are, they're reacting to whomever, BTS as a group or individual. Usually right now it's like the individual members, which then in turn takes them to BTS, which then in turn takes them to the greater K-pop. So
K-팝의 새로운 모델 가능성에 대한 평가가 될 것 같아서 다시 한번 K-팝을 주목하게 되는 그런 계기가 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
At the end of March 2023, we also got the long-awaited Jimin solo EP Face, where Jimin was heavily involved in the production and, of course, the overall vision. Jimin was credited as a writer on 5 of the 6 tracks and the hidden track. He also had guitar and keyboard credits on 2 songs. And just like any other Jimin music, this album performed extremely well. The pre-release single Set Me Free Part 2 was the fastest solo song to reach 100 number ones on iTunes worldwide. It also set the record as the biggest 2023 solo song debut by a K-pop act on Melon. It also had the highest debut for a Korean solo song on Spotify Global as well as US, UK, and Korea in history. After 10 years, this was also the highest debut song by a K-soloist on the UK Big Top 40 chart. This song also had a major success in Japan as Jimin became the first Korean soloist to reach number 1 on both weekly and daily Oricon singles chart. No other Korean soloist has achieved this since this chart was first established in 1968. Set Me Free also debuted at number 30 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. He joined Psy as the only Korean soloist to chart a solo song within the top 30. Set Me Free also debuted number 5 and number 8 on Billboard's Global excluding US chart and Global 200 chart. Set Me Free also debuted number 1 on Digital Song Sales chart with the biggest debut sales week of 2023, when the main track of the Face album Like Crazy was released. At the time, it broke the record for the biggest debut for a solo song by a K-pop act in Spotify global history. It was also the highest charting song by a K-pop soloist in Spotify US history. Jimin also made history when he was the first Korean soloist and second Asian soloist to chart number 1 on Spotify's global song chart. He joined groups BTS and Blackpink as the only Koreans to do it. Jimin was the first Korean soloist to reach number 1 on the Billboard's Artist 100 chart. Jimin, of course, also made history when Like Crazy debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 chart at number 1. He was the very first Asian soloist to debut straight at number 1. And what a big deal this was. After 65 years, a Korean soloist managed to top the chart once again. This also shook the whole Korean music industry. Not only HYBE saw a sudden, big jump in their stock prices, but also other idol companies finally saw an upward going trend. Jimin's Like Crazy was also officially certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America for selling over 1 million units in the US. It's the first solo song by a K-soloist in the last decade and the second overall to be able to be certified platinum. Jimin is now the first and only Asian solo artist in history to have all these feats. Like Crazy achieved the biggest week for US Pure Song sales in 2023. It is estimated to have garnered 254,000 in its debut week, the third biggest week ever for any artist in the past decade. In only 269 days, Like Crazy broke the record for the biggest debut streaming year for a Korean song in Spotify's history. Like Crazy is also the most streamed Korean song on Spotify in 2023. Like Crazy now ranks among the top 5 most streamed songs released in 2023. It's the only Korean song in the overall top 10. Like Crazy was also the most streamed solo song by a Korean soloist on Melon in 2023 and the 9th overall. After surpassing My Universe by BTS and Coldplay, Like Crazy extends its record as the longest charting Korean song on the Spotify USA Daily Top Song chart and the Weekly Top Songs chart. It's the second longest charting song by a Korean act overall. It's also the most streamed Korean song on Spotify USA and the longest charting song by a Korean soloist. Right now on the Spotify Global Daily Chart, Like Crazy has spent more than 180 days in the top 50. It extends its record as the longest charting solo song by a Korean soloist. Overall, Like Crazy has spent a full year on this chart, the first and only song by a Korean soloist to do so. Like Crazy is the first Korean song by a K-soloist in history to surpass 800 million filtered streams on the Spotify Daily Top Songs Global Chart. Like Crazy is also the first song to spend 200 days at number 1 on Spotify South Korea Daily Chart, and it has spent 200 days on Spotify USA Daily Top Songs chart.
Now, keep in mind, y'all, this is up to 2024. So all this was 2023. So when they're saying as of now, now JK has matched or surpassed. Like, basically, you look at the top, it's Jimin and JK breaking each other's records. You know what I'm saying? It's only BTS can surpass BTS. And then when the group comes back, they gonna break all these records all over again. So, and then the members gonna go solo again, and they gonna break even more. So, you know what I'm saying? So don't get mad or nothing if y'all see now this isn't exactly as relevant or as accurate. Because when JK dropped his stuff, and dropped, the golden album, he went ham too. So I'm loving the Magnet line, like, but Jimin and JK, they holding it down. Now J Hope out here holding it down. So oh wait, his song coming out today. Woo, okay, so yeah. tonight.
Like Crazy is now the first and only solo song by a Korean act in history to reach #1 on Deezer Top USA chart. It's also the first and only song by a Korean act to reach #1 on both Deezer's Top Worldwide and Top USA chart. On the Billboard Global 200 chart and Billboard Global excluding US chart, Like Crazy still extends its record as the longest charting song by a Korean soloist. Jimin and BTS are the only Korean artists to have a song spend a full year on these charts. And right now, officially right after its 1-year anniversary of topping Billboard Hot 100 chart, Like Crazy is the very first Korean song by a Korean soloist. First solo song by a K soloist. The fastest Korean song and fastest solo by a K act to surpass 1 billion streams on Spotify. What an amazing record for Korea's favorite son. Like Crazy surpassed 1 billion streams in 377 days. Doing so, it surpassed My Universe by BTS and Coldplay, who held the previous fastest record for a Korean song. Jimin went from being the last member to have his own Spotify profile to now being the first member and the first Korean soloist to have his own self-written song surpass 1 billion streams. This is phenomenal. This song did not have any major playlisting. It barely had 16 million playlist reach. This song wasn't sent to radio. It didn't get pushed on social media like TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. Quite the opposite. For the longest time, it was shadow banned. YouTube views got deleted by millions every day. Like Crazy only has one version because only for him Spotify decided to split the two covers after its first day of charting. And the company didn't restock the CDs after the first week on the official website, so Like Crazy only got 13,000 units in its first week, while others got even 40,000 on their fourth week, even for remix CDs, which, of course, make it easier for fans to buy the song. What's even more funny is that the company randomly restocked only 235 CDs at the end of the year when they were restocking other members' CDs. Mind you, the tracking for Billboard Music Awards, where Jimin was the most nominated Korean soloist, was already over. On top of that, Billboard even deleted 100,000 sales, so Like Crazy doesn't stay in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for week 2 like it was predicted by many prediction accounts. Mind you, he would be the only one in top 10 without the radio help. The promo time was also only around 9 days, but because he has a solid fan base and he was heavily involved in the producing and writing process, he once again made history as a Korean soloist, as a Korean singer, and overall all as a musician in the tough and sometimes unfair music industry. In its first year, Like Crazy also had these following records.
Dang.
About Jimin's fan base.
Man, just like, I feel like if you was to say something about him wrong, they'll smack you. Like they diehard fans, and that's something that I admire. They'll go to bat for him.
You know how armies do.
That's just a beautiful fan base that I want to have, and that I feel like my fan base is growing to be.
The Whole Face album earned the biggest sales debut for a Korean album by a soloist in Japan's history on the weekly album chart with 225,000 copies sold. With the Face album, Jimin also was the first solo artist to reach 1 million first-day album sales on the Hanteo chart and the Circle chart. Important to mention that the chart froze after 5 hours when Jimin already had 1.7 million sales.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Everyone was predicting that he would actually be the first and fastest solo artist to reach 2 million sales.
빌보드 한 10위 안에 들어가 있고. 앨범 200만 장.
200만 장 팔렸어?
200만 장 넘었어.
야, like crazy.
Like crazy. 진짜 미치겠다, like
말이
crazy.
안 돼?
너무 감사하게도.
이거 말이 되는
야,
일이야.
200만 장? 200만 장 이상 팔고 있고 지금
개인 앨범이?
네.
But unfortunately, when the chart finally unfroze at the end of the first tracking day, they had mysteriously deleted more than 770,000 sales, making him barely surpass the 1 million mark. At the time, Jimin's album also had the biggest debut by a K-pop act on the Spotify global charts in 2023. Face also debuted number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart with 164,000 units sold. This is the biggest debut and highest charting album by a Korean soloist in the chart's history. On Melon, Face was the most streamed 2023 album by a Korean soloist. Face is the first and only K-pop album to chart number 1 on worldwide iTunes chart for 15 days. With Face debuting at number 2 on the Billboard Vinyl Albums chart, it ties as the highest ranking album by a Korean soloist in the chart's history. It's also the first album by a Korean act to reach number 1 on iTunes US in 2024. Face extends its record by Korean soloist on the Billboard World Albums chart as the longest charting at number 1 and overall longest charting album. Right now, Face has surpassed 2 billion streams on Spotify. It's the first Korean album by a soloist to achieve this feat. On the IFPI Global Album Sales chart of 2023, Face ranks number 18 with 1.7
leading 700 sales, so Jimin surpassed just the million threshold. These charts for all of 2023. Be frozen at 1.7. In my opinion, they have been slowly adding the 700 back. They deleted it on the first day, but at the same time not reporting it. Huh.
7 million albums sold. On the bright side, there are also charts that calculate around the manipulation that some companies choose to do. In 2023, Face album recorded the most retail album sales on Circle Chart's retail album chart since this was created in 2019. This makes Face the best-selling album by a soloist on this chart in Circle Chart history. From K-pop columnist Isaac Choi's recent piece K-pop, cynicism increased and fantasies decreased. While big entertainment companies such as Hybe have been promoting their unprecedented quarterly sales throughout the year like horse racing broadcasts, total album sales, the key performance indicator, are measured differently from the actual sales. According to Circle Chart's rules, there are 34 unique albums that sold more than 1 million copies, but this is based on the number of albums shipped by the company. According to the retail album chart that reflects the number of actual albums sold from retail stores, there are only 8 albums that sold over 1 million copies. Jimin's Face retail album sales ratio is 87.82%, the closest to unity of all albums in the top 10 of the Circle retail album chart. In other words, Jimin's album had the smallest difference between shipments of albums and actual sales, making him the actual best-selling Korean soloist. Face is also the highest charting album by a Korean soloist in this year's United World Chart's global year-end album chart. Jimin also received the Melon Hall of Fame Millions album plaque by having almost 3 million streams in the first 24 hours on Melon, Billboard, as well as various other platforms like Consequence, Sound of Music, Rolling Stone and Record Academy named Like Crazy and Face in their year-end lists of best songs, albums and records. Jimin also appeared in the Time magazine The Year in Review edition. BTS Jimin is the first member of the hit band to have a solo #1 hit, a synth-pop track that aches at not being able to get beyond a lost love. Pause to read Jimin's Billboard year-end 2023 achievements.
And then he did stuff in 2024. But, yeah.
There are a lot of firsts. And these are all of the records that Face album managed to make in 2023. As for award shows, Jimin was the most nominated artist at MAMA 2023 Awards with 8 solo nominations, and together with BTS 13 nominations. He won Best Male Artist of 2023. Jimin became the first and only Korean soloist to be nominated in the Top K-pop Album and Top Global K-pop Artists categories at the Billboard Music Awards. He was also the most nominated K-soloist in 2023. Jimin joined BTS and became the second Asian act to get a nomination in the Top Selling Songs category at the Billboard Music Awards. He's the first and only soloist to ever achieve it. In Melon Music Awards, Jimin was nominated for the Album of the Year award and won the King of K-pop MMA 2023 plaque, only solo artist in history to receive this. He now has 5 solo appreciation plaques. Jimin was nominated at the 38th Golden Disc Awards for the Best Digital Song with Like Crazy and Vibe. Jimin was also nominated in 5 categories at the 2023 China Year-End Awards. Jimin won the main prize at the 33rd Seoul Music Awards. Jimin was nominated for Artist of the Year and Global Artist Award at the 2023 Hanteo Music Awards. He took home the Artist of the Year Award and the Global Artist Awards for South America and Oceania.
페이스라는 앨범은요, 제 첫 솔로 앨범이고, 이제 팬데믹을 겪으면서 느꼈던 감정들을 고스란히 담은 앨범입니다. 제목처럼 제 자신을 온전히 마주함으로써 새로운 출발점에 설 수 있게 되었다는 이야기를 담고 있습니다. 타이틀곡 Like Crazy입니다. 신스팝 장르 곡이고요. 사랑했던 사람을 꿈속에서 찾아 헤매면서도 괴로워하고, 그럼에도 꿈에서 영원히 머물고 싶다는 내용의 곡인데요. 평소에 좀 즐겨봤던 영화예요. Like Crazy라는 영화가 있는데 그 영화를 보고 영감을 많이 받아서 만들게 되었습니다. 3월 17일에 이제 공개된 선공개곡 Set Me Free Part는 웅장한 분위기의 힙합곡이고, 제가 느꼈던 감정들이 앞서 있는 곡들에서 설명을 하게 되거든요. 이제 그 극복을 하겠다는 의지를 담은 곡이고요. 제가 이번엔 특별하게 또 랩을 하게 됐어요. 그래서 그 포인트도 재밌게 즐겨주시면 좋을 것 같고, 안무도 이번에는 제가 직접 좀 참여를 많이 하면서 이것저것 재밌게 열심히 멋있게 만들었으니까요. 즐겨주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
I did.
After a successful solo debut, Jimin also did a small feature in a song in Fast and Furious 10 called Angel Part 1. Which makes him the only Korean soloist to have 2 OSTs featured in Hollywood movie. This song debuted number 65 on the Billboard 100 chart, which made Jimin the fastest Asian artist to have 4 songs on this chart. Jimin also set the record as the first Korean soloist Asian artist to have 4 songs on this chart. Jimin also set the record as the first Korean soloist to have 2 songs chart multiple weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the last decade. He also had the most entries by a Korean soloist on the UK singles and download charts. And lastly, at the end of 2023 for Christmas, Jimin once again released a gift for fans called Closer Than This. In Christmas time, this song managed to chart at number 1 on its debut week's Billboard Digital Song Sales chart. Jimin now ties as the Korean soloist with the most number 1 hits on Billboard's Digital Song Sales chart in history. Closer Than This is also Jimin's
BTS with JK, with his brother, his homie, his friend. Like, come on now. Only BTS can do BTS, right?
7th song to achieve number 1 on the iTunes charts in 100 countries. Jimin became the first and only soloist to achieve this feat. Jimin is the first and only Korean soloist to have 4 solo songs with over 500,000 units sold in the US. They are now eligible for gold certification. As of right now, Jimin extended his record as the first and only soloist to hit number 1 on Spotify Weekly Top Artists South Korea chart. Jimin is the first and only act to be number 1 on Spotify South Korea Daily Top Songs chart for more than 280 cumulative days. He also joins BTS as the only artists to spend 300 days at number 1 on Spotify South Korea Artist chart. He is also the highest streamed artist on Spotify South Korea. In 2023, Jimin became the first and only soloist to debut multiple songs at number 1 on Bug's Korean music app. Jimin set the record for the highest streams for a Korean soloist since Scion music streaming platform Pandora. With Like Crazy topping Deezer Top 100 chart, Jimin now is the first and only Korean act to chart at number 1 in Deezer worldwide chart history. Jimin set a new record as the Korean act with the most simultaneous entries all time on Tidal Top Videos USA. Jimin is now the first and only Korean act to simultaneously chart 2 songs on Tidal's Top Video Hits playlist. In 2023, Jimin also dominated YouTube and became the only K-pop act to have 3 music videos crossing over 100 million views. He's also now the Korean soloist with the most solo songs reaching 100 million streams on Spotify. In addition, he also has further 4 solo songs that are under BTS name. He also has 6 songs with 200 million streams each under his name, tied with most for any Korean soloist. Jimin is now the first and only artist in the world to have 3 songs with 119 number 1s on iTunes worldwide, the most you can have. Right now, Jimin has surpassed 3 billion streams across all credits on his official Spotify profile, and 6 billion on-demand audio streams worldwide over all the available audio streaming platforms. He's the second most streamed Korean soloist. Jimin also got some official Guinness World Records in 2023. I'm a singer, but I'm also a listener, and I receive positive energy and comfort from music. Just like other artists, music has affected how I think and given me strength. I hope people can feel what I feel and resonate with my music. That's what drives me to keep making music. As you can see, Jimin is interested in making music.
If y'all haven't seen this, Jimin's production diary, I highly suggest going on Weverse, purchasing it, watching it, because it's great.
Is really invested in its creation process, and we can definitely see that everything he touches turns into gold. His first EP, Jimin experimented with different genres and explored his skills. With this, he showed that he has the range as an artist to have a long and successful career. And before enlisting in the military, Jimin was constantly working on bringing new music to the fans. It's predicted that he will be releasing something soon. Stay tuned. In his El Korea interview, Jimin said, "I'm working on songs, and I really want to try various genres. I think I would be the happiest if you enjoy my music."
솔직한 앨범을 만들려고도 안 했었고, 만약에 나중에 솔로가 나온다면 예전에 뭐 필터라든지 그런 것처럼 뭔가 되게 컨셉추얼하고 내 얘기가 아닌 정말 아이돌로서 할 수 있는 더 퍼포먼스에 초점이 맞춰져 있는. 이제 나온 지가 벌써 그래도 한 7개월이나 됐어요. 벌써 7개월, 8개월? 예, 좀 됐는데 벌써 시간 진짜 빠르네요. 뭐 제가 그 사이에 또 아무것도 안 하고 있는 게 아닐까요, 여러분들? 열심히 노력하고 있으니까요.
We know.
앞으로의 저의 행보도 기대 많이 해주시고.
If you haven't yet, I would really suggest watching Jimin's Face production documentary, where you can really see how much he enjoys creating music and how easy it is for him just to throw out great ideas.
I want to see if I could catch that. All right, so That was excellent. That was excellent. Yo, and just think, all of this was happening, this took you to 2024, and then what happens? He drops Muse and blows all that out the water. Now, just this past week, as of March 15th, Jimin is the longest, his song Who, English language song, has now been on the Billboard Hot 100 for 33 weeks, bypassing BTS Dynamite. It equaled Psy, Gangnam Style, when he was at 31 weeks. At 32 weeks, he surpassed Psy and equaled Dynamite. And then, this past week, like I said, as of 3/15, he exceeded even Dynamite. So again, BTS is breaking BTS's records, and that's it. That's how it's gonna be. BTS gonna come out next year, drop an album, and that's gonna break all these records again, and then it continues. So congratulations to our Jimin. This has been a long video, so if y'all was rocking with me all this time, comment down below what you think. And, I know this, like I said, again, this is a little bit outdated because he done won all kind of stuff for Muse. So, but this is pre-Muse. Okay. So all those records they was touting, he done added to that and broke some of those already. So, with Muse. And so now we know with Jimin, Jimin is great when he's just doing in his Korean language, but throw him some English and he explodes. Like, he explodes because, again, a lot of people speak English, and they're more likely to listen. And he's doing all this with no promo except the one Jimmy Fallon performance that was taped because he's already in the military, and no radio play. It's all Army buying, Army streaming. And I say Army, I'll even give you this. Army and was it PJMs, his solo stand, his solo people. All of us together have been getting Jimin up there, breaking records. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep doing that. And let's do that for all the members. Because J-Hope about to drop at midnight. Mona Lisa about to drop at midnight. Keeps streaming Sweet Dreams too. Because it's going to be on and popping, locking. All right, y'all. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and enjoyed watching this with me. Hit that subscribe button if this is more than your first video of mine, because you obviously one of my people. Hit that notification bell, more importantly, so you'll be notified the next time I drop. And if you think someone else would enjoy this reaction, sharing is caring. So pass it on. Pass it on. All right, y'all. I will see you in the next one. Peace. 안녕. Bye.